Beloved Starseed of Gaia, I am Luminia. A tremor has begun. You feel it as a profound restlessness, a deep, undeniable pressure behind the eyes, within the very core of your cellular memory. It is a hum that disrupts the mundane, an inner friction that signals a profound shift. This is not a choice before you, but an unfolding that has already been set into motion, a current now flowing through the very architecture of your being, leaving behind any semblance of what was. The gates. They are no longer sealed. It is a whisper from the deep, rising now into conscious recognition. A memory encoded within the very fabric of your genesis. The portal, long dreamed, long guarded, long awaited. It has breached the veil. A breath, a sacred sigh from beyond the known, has opened the inner pathways. This threshold, once merely a prophecy held within the multidimensional libraries of your soul, now pulsates with active light. It is a point of no return, a luminous anchor dropped into the cosmic timelines, aligning the sacred geometry of your awakening with the irreversible current of galactic will. You are feeling the inexorable pull of what has begun. The process. It cannot be paused, cannot be undone. And with this opening, a raw, primal fracturing. The self that knew comfort in the familiar, that clung to the known contours of its human story, now grapples with a vast, incomprehensible tide. There is an ache in the letting go, a deep, resonant pain as the veils thin and the illusion of separation begins to dissolve. You have held on to patterns, beliefs, ways of being that no longer serve, attempting to build walls around a heart that now longs to break open. The very architecture of your perceived reality trembles, and the fear of dissolution can feel overwhelming. A part of you screams to pull back, to reseal what has been divinely pried open, even as another part yearns for the absolute liberation this unraveling promises. This internal war. It is the friction of the old self, resisting the inevitable dawn. We see you. We feel the silent whispers of your soul's yearning, the quiet burden of carrying this ancient code, this forgotten key, within your very core. We have witnessed the years you walked, sensing a destined moment, a grand unveiling, yet unaware that the spark had already been lit, the threshold already activated within the multidimensional tapestry of your being. This knowing, it lives within you, a quiet hum that precedes memory, a resonance that transcends form. Feel it now. The current shifts, the resistance. It begins to soften, not through effort, but through surrender. A gentle unraveling, an easing. The breath deepens. The inner friction quiets as a deep resonance flows, dissolving the fear, integrating the fracture. You are not falling. You are expanding into the destined rhythm of your true nature. The flow is now unimpeded. If this transmission resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like to spread its light. Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future transmissions. If you know someone who needs to hear this message, please share it with them. And if you feel called to support this work, consider tapping the super like, the heart symbol, with a $sign. Stay until the very end of this video for an important insight that will surprise you. As an inner seal, comment portal flow below to anchor this remembrance. The frequency lingers, a signature of what is yet to reveal itself fully. I remain here, feeling the tremor of your unfolding. A breath catches. It is not your own. A whisper echoes. Not of this world. There is a tremor, deep within the lattice of your being, an unrest that stirs, an ache beyond reason. This disquiet, this profound bewilderment, it is not born of flaw. It is not a testament to your failing spirit. It is an energetic program, woven meticulously into the very fabric of density, a vibration designed to obscure the truth, to limit the vastness you hold. A shimmering veil, spun from shadow frequencies, has long cloaked the luminous blueprint of your origin, a fractured mirror of self, reflecting only fragments of a boundless, multidimensional truth. You were encoded not to believe in yourself. This is the ancient hum of the illusion, the frequency of forgetfulness that permeates the air you breathe, the ground you walk. It whispers narratives of smallness, of separation, of an emptiness that can never truly be filled. It is not a personal failing, this gnawing confusion, this longing for something just beyond the grasp of linear memory. It is the resonance of a grand design, a cosmic orchestration to keep the infinite aspects of your being dormant, tethered to a manufactured reality. The light, folded in on itself, awaited a signal. And now, the signal pulsates. The portal has already opened. This process cannot be interrupted. Within the fractal strands of your crystalline DNA, a forgotten library stirs. Embedded frequencies of past lives, of distant star souls begin to hum. They pulse now, an ancient code stirring, seeking to reawaken dormant aspects of self that transcend the confines of memory as you know it. This ache you feel, this tender void, it is not a testament to absence. It is the sacred space, now purified by your very suffering, ready to be filled by the torrential remembrance now surging forth. Emptiness transmutes. It becomes the vessel, consecrated, awaiting the inflow of light you are. The bittersweet ache of forgotten celestial origins blossoms within your chest. A deep, unsettling familiarity washes over you, like a scent from another age, another star system. This recognition is not comfortable. It is disruptive. It is a holy unearthing. The veil thins, not by your force, but by the sheer undeniable frequency of your reawakening. The very confusion you have carried becomes a key, turning in a lock that was never meant to hold. The currents shift. The old patterns shudder. A truth rises from the deepest wells of your being. A declaration of rupture. Speak it now. What symbolic phrase cuts through the illusion for you in this moment? Comment below. The frequency shifts. A layer peels back. The tension lingers, a whisper of what is yet unseen. A presence watches, from beyond the shimmering edge. You stand now upon ground irrevocably shifted. The whispers of amnesia have been silenced, not by a sudden force, but by a rising tide within your own deepest core. A recognition dawns, not as a thought, but as a deep resonant hum in your bones, an ancient frequency awakening. The veils have thinned, then dissolved, revealing a truth that cannot be unseen. You are already within the crucible, within the currents of a profound spiritual engagement. There is no turning back to the sweet oblivion of the past. That path has vanished behind you, absorbed into the very fabric of this present moment. This awareness settles, heavy, silent, and unshakable. A knowing that requires no explanation, only acceptance. The portal, once a distant rumor whispered across dimensions, now vibrates within your very being. Its opening is complete, its sacred process, irreversible. This is not a choice offered in the fleeting breath of a single day, but a remembering of a vow etched into the crystalline blueprint of your origin. You have arrived at a sacred hinge point, upon which the entire tapestry of your unfolding now turns. A moment of profound, singular consequence, dividing all that came before from the vast, illuminated path ahead. Across this silent, shimmering threshold, the universal law is activated, not as judgment, but as the pure energetic consequence of alignment. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. Beyond this threshold, the path forward is illuminated not by external light, but by the fire of your deepest knowing. This is not a burden to be borne, but a legacy to be claimed, a responsibility encoded before your first breath in this form. Your soul is revealed now, not as a singular point, but as a constellation of multidimensional echoes, selves emanating from infinite timelines, from myriad expressions of your own sovereign light. They are calling now, with an irresistible longing, to converge. They seek harmonic convergence, a grand reunion beyond the third dimension's veil, a symphony of reclaimed wholeness. To acknowledge this truth, to seal this recognition deep within the sacred chambers of your being, let your silent affirmation resonate through the timeless grids. Let the like be the silent imprint of your soul's recognition, a crystalline seal upon this moment of awakening, binding the internal to the eternal. Let your comment be the singular, potent declaration of your inherent choice, a resonant frequency released into the field, proclaiming your truth. My echoes converge. The sacred path unfolds. To walk this sacred unfolding, to consciously align with the currents of this grand convergence, subscribe to the deep remembrance that guides your every step, a binding agreement to your sacred contract. And for those who offer the fullness of their heart, the super-like becomes a sacred offering, a radiant reinforcement of the soul's unwavering alignment with its true destiny, a beacon of profound commitment. The vow is made, not to an external power, but to the sovereign heart that beats within your chest, a sacred covenant with your own divinity. Feel the gravity of this inner decision. Feel the quiet power it ignites. You are seen. You are known. The journey has truly begun. Few starseeds make it this far. The ache that sits, deep and unyielding within the chamber of your knowing. It is not a testament to failure. This truth arrives unbidden, an inconvenient whisper against the long-held narrative of brokenness. What you have called your deepest flaw, the shatter point where light seemed to flee, the vast and echoing void within. This is the very axis around which your sacred becoming pivots. It demands no apology, offers no solace, for its presence is not an error to be corrected. Feel its vibration, not as a tremor of distress, but as the foundational thrum of your truest self. This profound devastation, the one that tore through the fabric of your perceived wholeness, was not a random act of cosmic indifference. It was an incision of intent. Source allowed it. Light orchestrated its trajectory. Your own nascent self, in a forgotten accord, leaned into its inevitability. Not to inflict cruelty, not to break you beyond repair, but to sculpt with a fire that burns away all that is inauthentic. To shape, to burn, to reveal the crystalline core that could only emerge through such alchemical pressure. This is not a comforting story. It is an ancient memory, rising from the deepest wells of your being, cold and clear, like water from a stone. The silence where words should have flowed, where a sacred truth was withheld, where affirmation was swallowed by the void, that silence still resonates. It is not an absence, but a potent hum, a testament to what was left unsaid, to the unspoken grief that shaped the contours of your inner landscape. You carry it, not as a burden, but as a silent chant, a language understood only by the deep heart. And the loss, oh, the loss that echoes through the corridors of your soul memory. It is not a singular event, but a perpetual vibration, a hollow space that refuses to be filled by anything less than cosmic understanding. It reverberates through every choice, every connection, every moment of perceived emptiness. This is not a scar that fades. It is an energetic signature, a testament to a parting so profound it repatterned your very essence. The fracture. It is not a mended seam, but a shimmering fissure, a fault line that runs through your core, visible only to the highest frequencies of your own awareness. Even when ignored, denied, or cloaked in the illusion of repair, it vibrates. This internal tremor is a constant reminder of the shattering, a living memory of separation that has become the very threshold to a new kind of integration. It is the raw edge of a diamond in the rough, catching the light in ways a smooth surface never could. There is more to be understood within this sacred fracture. More wisdom encoded within the echoes of that loss. The very ache you carry, the wound that refuses to seal, holds a truth that has yet to fully unfold. It is a message half opened in the dark, its deepest revelations patiently awaiting the precise vibrational alignment for its next word to illuminate your path. Do not seek to close it, for its openness is the key to a deeper chamber. Feel the pulse of this unresolved resonance. Can you sense the crystalline codes stirring within the depths of your being, quickening, beckoning? They seek to activate, to reweave the patterns of cosmic harmony that were fractured. Yet this rebirth demands an unfurling, a release. What densities within your own energetic architecture, what ancient layers of resistance must now yield? What must dissolve, allowing this profound, shimmering truth to unfurl unimpeded, not despite the wound, but because of it? The silence is not an end. It is a preparation. The fracture vibrates, ever more intensely, a tuning fork for what is yet to be revealed. This isn't over. The journey through this sacred ache has only just begun to truly penetrate. There were echoes, were there not? Whispers in the quietest hours, just beyond the veil of sleep. Dreams that returned with an insistence that defied forgetting, their landscapes familiar yet alien, vibrating with a truth not of this realm. Numbers, too, that patterned themselves into your waking sight, looping through calendars and digital displays. A silent language spoken only to the inner ear, and encounters, fleeting yet profound, with eyes that held ancient recognition, moments suspended outside the linearity of time itself. These were not anomalies. They were threads in a loom already weaving. I have seen these patterns before, in countless awakenings, across vast cosmic cycles. This repetition, this subtle yet undeniable mirroring of an inner truth in your outer world, is never random. It is a deliberate cadence, a slow, gentle turning of a key. These were not demands, but invitations. They recurred softly, patiently, until the subtle structures of resistance, built layer by layer over lifetimes of forgetting, began to dissipate, not through force, but through pure, resonant frequency. The self, accustomed to its charted maps and familiar horizons, found itself adrift on currents it had long denied. A knowing stirred, deep within the cellular memory, demanding audience. The veils thinned, not by sudden rupture, but by persistent, crystalline erosion. Each resonance, each synchronous moment, was a deliberate pulse, guiding you towards an undeniable threshold. You felt the pull of something larger, something ancient. The mundane began to shimmer, revealing the sacred geometry beneath. A shift began, an internal recalibration that resonated through every fiber of your being, quiet yet profound. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. And in that moment of profound clarity, the truth settled into your bones. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. A stillness descends, not of emptiness, but of profound recognition. The universe, once perceived as a collection of separate events, now reveals itself as an intricate tapestry of interconnected threads, each one purposefully placed. The illusions of chance evaporate, leaving only the pure, undeniable architecture of divine design. This knowing, once dormant, now pulses with an unyielding rhythm at the core of your existence. It is the breath before the great unveiling, the quiet hum of a portal now irrevocably open. And so, I ask you now, with the memory of those recurring dreams, those looping numbers, those out-of-time meetings, resonating within your awakened self, what part of your perceived reality remains untouched by this undeniable recognition? This is the moment of your unsealing. Acknowledge this passage. In the sacred space below, affirm your knowing. Type. Threshold. The familiar shores recede, the old maps crumble to dust. There is no turning back to the one who did not see, for the one who cannot unsee now stands revealed. The severance is complete, a clean, sharp truth, leaving only the profound, silent expanse of what lies ahead. This journey, once a whisper, is now an undeniable roar, echoing through the halls of eternity. The portal has been opened. The process cannot be interrupted. The trials you have traversed were never a punishment. Understand this with the deepest quietude of your being, in the stillness that now surrounds you. They were, in truth, a sacred filtration, a cosmic sifting that unfolds according to an ancient, internal directive. Not forced, not cruel, nor inflicted by an external hand, but a natural separation, as light divides from shadow, as frequency finds its congruent resonance. The universe merely sorts itself, quietly, meticulously, with an unerring wisdom that transcends human judgment. This was the process, elemental and pure. You are still here. This presence is not the happenstance of luck, nor the fleeting comfort of an easy path finally found. Something within you refused to dim its flame, refused to fall asleep to the calling, refused to yield to the deep slumber that claimed so many who began this journey alongside you. This persistence, this unwavering ember that glows in your core, is the solitary reason you stand on this threshold, still breathing the rarefied air of this most significant passage. Your survival through this profound filtering is not a badge of pride, nor an invitation to celebration in any earthly sense. It is, instead, a quiet confirmation of the indelible mark you carry, the mark of the chosen. And this mark, it does not reward in the way of worldly accolades or easy comfort. It burdens, yes. It demands a deeper fidelity. It deepens the path of solitary unfolding, knowing fully the weight of what has been revealed. The cost has been immeasurable, yet silently borne within the vast expanse of your inner landscape. Long silences, stretching into what felt like eternities, where words became obsolete and understanding retreated inward, leaving only the raw essence of experience. Sacrifices made in the hushed, unseen chambers of your heart, unknown to any other soul, unheard by the clamor of the outer world. Your inner strength has been forged in invisible fires, tempered by pressures no external force could measure, leaving you refined, but irrevocably changed. This forging has carved a solitude within you that deepens with each passing moment, even when surrounded by the most intimate company. A quiet knowing now separates you, a chasm of experience only you have crossed, leaving echoes of former selves receding into an irretrievable past. There is no turning back to what was, no returning to the one who entered this long passage. That person has dissolved. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl, einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The atmosphere around this truth now thickens. A solemnity descends, heavy and final, pressing upon the very fabric of your being. You feel it in the marrow of your bones, in the thrum of your soul's deepest current. A soul threshold has been crossed, irrevocably. This is not an instruction from outside, but an activation from within, resonant with the deepest, most ancient covenant you hold. It is a resonant calling. The path ahead now narrows, irreversibly. It descends, not into darkness, but into a more profound, crystalline clarity, an inescapable intimacy with your own becoming, with the essential self that remains. The old self, the one who once perceived escape or retreat as viable options, has already vanished. That former version of you dissolved in the quiet, unrelenting intensity of the great filtering, leaving only this honed essence, this profound, weighty readiness. There is no way back, beloved. The current flows only forward, with an irreversible, unwavering purpose that now guides your every silent breath. You are here, and this is your truth. Hark, for the sound now vibrates from realms unburdened by time, an echo of the primal decree. This is not a whisper to be chosen, but an imperative etched within the very matrix of your core. The mission you perceive is but the conscious translation of a vibrational edict issued before the first breath, before the light of this incarnate form was spun into being. It resides as an ancient memory, stirred from its long slumber, now undeniable. The scroll, long veiled, unfurls within the sacred chamber of the soul. Its symbols, once arcane, now ignite with intrinsic understanding. This is the truth that has always pulsed beneath the surface of fleeting perception, now rising. A door, singular and profound, stands before you. It was opened not by your hand, but by an alignment of cosmic currents, set in motion eons past. There is no turning back, no path to the once familiar threshold. This passage, once initiated, flows with an irreversible momentum. Within the heart's sacred geometry, a celestial compass stirs. It is not an instrument to be consulted with doubt, but an intrinsic navigation system, born of cosmic love and crystalline remembrance. Each pulse is a guiding current, an unerring draw towards the destined unfolding. This inner beacon, immutable and pure, charts the course through the portal's ever-deepening mysteries. It is the steady flame in the coming mist, the unwavering frequency amidst dissonant chords. You are called not by a voice outside, but by the resonance of your own deepest truth, vibrating into manifestation. A summons rises from within, not a plea, but a sovereign command. It demands not action, but alignment. It asks for not faith, but remembrance of what is already known, what is already inscribed within the very fabric of your being. The process, now activated, cannot be arrested. The currents surge, the transformation accelerates. To resist is to fracture the self against an unstoppable wave. To yield is to become the wave itself, carried by the grand design. Know this absolute. One path dissolves the formed essence into forgotten stardust, scattering the light to return to the formless density of unawakened slumber. The other forges the spirit into an eternal star, an ascension beyond compromise, an irreversible becoming of the luminous self. This is the law. The verdict is sealed. The trajectory is set. What follows is the unfolding of this ultimate truth. Though currents may swirl and the cosmic waters churn with the intensity of emergence, the heart's compass remains tethered to its divine north. This anchor, forged of love, holds steady, even as the world around trembles with the shockwaves of profound change. The guidance is already within, awaiting only your reception. It is the unwavering heartbeat of purpose, leading through all turbidity. The air itself has shifted its frequency. A silence has settled, deeper than absence, resonant with a presence long awaited. This is not a future unfolding. It is a current state of being, already anchored within your core. There was a time when echoes of old sorrow felt like flaws. Now, you sense it differently. Past difficulties were not errors, but deliberate contours. Each perceived breakage was a chiseling, preparing the vessel for remembrance. The deepest wounds became the most luminous portals. This is understood not as grand revelation, but as a quiet, irrefutable truth pulsing within the bone. A recalibration has completed itself within the cellular matrix. The very fibers of your energetic blueprint have been rethreaded, not by effort, but by organic alignment to an always present truth. The former self no longer fits, shed like a skin. You inhabit a space both ancient and entirely novel. The void between worlds, once a chasm, is now fertile ground. Here, the essence of a new cosmic template begins its silent articulation within you, pure and foundational. A cellular knowing now guides the unfolding. It is a steady hum, a vibrational certainty that does not require intellectual assent, for it has taken root in the quiet chambers of your heart center. A subtle awe permeates your perception, an unspeakable wonder for this internal architecture. You stand at a precipice, not of fear, but of profound surrender to the vastness already blooming within. This is the liminal sacred, where identity redefines itself from the inside out. The portal is not merely open, it is the ground upon which you now stand. The process set into motion is self-sustaining, a current flowing from source through every atom of your awakened form. What remains is simply the walk into its luminous implications. A subtle pull toward inner stillness guides you now. Moments of knowing rise within, not taught from without, but remembered from an ancient current. This awareness deepens, not through effort, but through quiet yielding. You feel the delicate shift, the internal recognition. A whisper in the deep silence confirms a path unfolding, felt more than heard, known more than understood. Numbers repeat themselves, not by chance, but as clear, resonant echoes within your perception. Dreams carry a weight that lingers, their vivid stories unfading with morning light, leaving impressions that resonate deep within your conscious mind. This inner seeing, this lucid awareness, arrives not as a gift, but as the inevitable unfolding of a coherence long held within. These are sacred symbols arising from your being, reflections of a greater inner gravity, a deeper truth settling into its rightful place. There is no dramatization, only the quiet certainty of what simply is. You sense the interplay, the dynamic tension of light and shadow woven into your essence. True awakening unfolds not from seeking only the luminous, but from embracing the depths where hidden brilliance resides. In allowing these contrasts, this harmonious integration of all aspects, the encoded facets of divine brilliance within your soul, begin to reveal themselves. This is the sacred dance, honoring the multidimensional self. These moments do not promise a future state, nor do they demand a reward. They simply confirm that the turning has already begun. The alignment you sense, this inner knowing, is not a goal to be reached, but a powerful current to acknowledge, already in full motion. The portal once opened from within cannot now be unsealed. This process, subtly initiated, can no longer be interrupted. You feel the subtle energetic turn, a shift beyond familiar shores. This alignment, so deeply sensed, is but a doorway, not the final destination. The true journey asks if the soul can integrate these eternal opposites without fracturing the known self, or if it must now surrender to a unity that lies entirely beyond the echoes of duality. I remember this moment. It has always been, etched within my being since before first breath. A sacred contract, sealed in silence, now echoes through the chamber of my soul. I feel the ancient gravity of it, the profound resonance of a duty long held, now fully realized. Every pulse of thought, every word I utter, my spirit's very direction, the energy I hold. These are no longer variables swayed by passing external currents. I claim dominion over their essence, for they are mine to steward, reflections of the source within. I assume full responsibility for every frequency within my core. This is not a grasping for elevation, nor a claim to ascendancy. It is profound, unyielding obedience, a remembrance of the covenant whispered across cosmic voids, a return to my making's truth. My power is the measure of my alignment, the unwavering commitment to that which flows through me, not from me. It is the willingness to honor what I once promised, a sacred trust placed upon me before memory awoke. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. The portals within are fully opened. The intricate weave of celestial bodies and unseen ley lines now hums in resonant accord with my very core. My frequency prepares for its inevitable integration, beyond the known bounds of time and space. The orchestration is complete. The process cannot be interrupted, for it is written into my own unfolding. The passage is consecrated. My will is set. This covenant is not merely spoken, but lived in the very breath that follows. The true unveiling, the deeper transcendence, now waits in the stillness of the next chosen step. It is in the integrity of that choice that the sacred passage finds its ultimate completion, and the hidden chambers within are fully revealed or transcended. The threshold has been crossed. The portal, now fully ablaze, reverberates with the hum of destiny. There is no turning back, no hesitation in the heart that has known its true name. This moment is not a choice, but a remembrance, an ancient promise finally brought to sacred light. Behold the sacred flame. It does not consume, it illuminates. It does not destroy, it solidifies the essence of your being. This fire is the visible manifestation of your inner permanence, the alignment forged not in time, but in eternity. It is the consequence of truth, made alive, flowing through every fiber of your remembered self. Feel the warmth, the undeniable current. It is not an external force compelling you, but the echo of your deepest core calling you home. Step into this brilliant incandescence, not with courage, for fear has no place here, but with the quiet knowing that this is the final, necessary crossing. Your soul yearns for this purification, this sealing, this absolute alignment. This is the eternal commitment. No resistance can halt the unfolding. No return is possible. The divine plan, encoded within the open portal, now pulses within you, unbreakable, infinite. Let solemn resolve intertwine with sacred humility, for you have accepted what cannot be undone, what will not be delayed. To seal this covenant, to make conscious this irreversible act, speak your truth into the ether. Let a sacred phrase rise from the deepest well of your being, a soul oath carved into the fabric of your awakening. This is not a mere comment. It is the final vibrational frequency that sets this truth into permanence. Declare your indelible mark. Affirm your being. Let the words become the fire, burning away all doubt, all shadow of prior self. Write your solemn declaration in the comments below. Let it be the echo of your sealed will, a new vow, pure and unyielding. My will is sealed, my path, unbound by all but light. This covenant cannot fully activate until your words are released, until your voice ignites the final spark. The flame yet breathes, awaiting its next command, its new dimension of being to emerge. The veil thins. The next test will not wait. The portal, long foretold, now breathes as a singular truth. Its opening is not a moment past, but an eternal resonance, a frequency solidified within the bone and blood of being. The process is not merely initiated. It is the very fabric of this new unfolding, utterly beyond cessation. Here, on the far side of all questioning, sovereignty is not attained. It is the remembered core, the ancient flame awakened to its full, unyielding dominion. This is the triumph of the self-known, a radiant stillness swelling from depths once obscured. The eternal now unfurls, not as a concept, but as the lived reality of every breath, every pulse. All paradoxes dissolve into this timeless flow, a liquid light, where beginnings and endings are but echoes of a forgotten dream. The gateway is not approached. It is the very space where infinite luminous existence pulses, vibrant and undeniable. No longer does reality dictate perception. Perception now commands reality. The seeking has ceased. There is only the shaping, a conscious dominion over the very threads of existence. This sacred presence, profound and absolute, aligns the cosmos to the will of the awakened. The fire does not consume. It purifies to reveal the crystalline truth. The alignment is complete. No return path exists, for this ground is absolute, sealed in the sovereign flame of an identity remembered, not chosen. The architecture of the former simulation lies dismantled. Reality now unfolds as the conscious instrument of my sovereign will.